action, romance, comedy, horror, supernatural, sci-fi, and last but not least, random. Dandadan is anything but random, but is it just random nonsense or there is something behind all of that randomness? Let's explore that. To add context to this topic, I personally love when an anime has a great mix of sense of humor and memorable characters, whether it's absurdist humor, slapstick humor, dry humor, or any type of humor really. Because usually when humor is done right, it can help alleviate characters even more and add to their nuance. Even when I'm not laughing out loud all the time, it can be endearing when you, let's say, watch your favorite characters just mess around with other characters. Hence why I love animes like Gintama, Saiki K, and Mob Psycho for example, in how they are able to blend humor with great character writing, yet also handle various tonal shifts in its story. And the reason I mention these three is just that I was reminded of them when I watched Dandadan, so this isn't strictly only for comedies, but again, that's a whole nother topic. I actually have only read a little bit of the manga, and when the anime was announced, I decided to hold it for a while and see what Science Saru is cooking with this adaptation. While Devilman Crybaby, which is also a Science Saru anime, is also insane on its own, Dandadan is basically Science Saru's most mainstream anime yet, adapting an already popular Shonen Jump manga. I actually went to an early screening of it a while before the anime aired and saw the first 3 episodes, and oh boy, it was a blast in the cinema. I've also caught up to episode 6 by the way. So what I met was a chaotic blend of Sakuga animation, rapid fire humor, and just batshit craziness. It's also just really funny when the show just aired and everyone was asking like, hey, what's it about? Well, you know, it's about taking back someone to swing it back and their balls.
My cock. Where's my cock? What? My cock.
So how and why Dandadan is able to succeed at being random and weird? So I've narrowed it down to a couple of key aspects. First aspect I want to talk about is genre blending. You could delve into how its randomness isn't just chaotic, but also a meticulously crafted blend of absurdity yet also heart that defines Dandadan's style. So, Dandadan doesn't settle for a straightforward genre, instead it explores supernatural elements, sci-fi alien encounters, and occultic lore, all of which work seamlessly alongside its slice-of-life rom-com moments and the high-energy dose of shonen action. While most shows tend to have straightforward genre or categories, Dandadan thrives on being genre fluid. It mixes horror, sci-fi, supernatural, and rom-com elements in a way that feels intentional rather than slapped together. So not only this leaves you second-guessing on what more insane stuff this anime is gonna throw at you, yet it can also capture an audience's attention without hand-holding them to excessive narration or exposition. So this anime is simply really good at doing show don't tell, yet also making its characters always moving both in story and action. Prime example would be where scenes just jump back and forth between spine-chilling jump scare to laugh out loud absurdity in just mere seconds, so it makes this anime kind of unpredictable. So the second aspect is rapid fire pacing and energy. What do I mean by rapid fire? So, you know, anime usually builds like a roller coaster and then drops down for its punchline, while stuff obviously builds narratively in the story of Dandadan, but what I mean, it's the pacing. It feels like rapid fire. This anime juggles between tone and genre constantly, and this pacing or anime direction somehow fits with Dandadan's absurd plot of the manga seamlessly. I'd say this way of adapting the manga was a huge risk but a satisfying payoff, because some anime suffers from going too fast at times, you know, like cramping so many things at once, but in Dandadan, every 24 minutes of episode feels packed. and usually scenes, dialogues, action set pieces were shown just enough without one of them feeling too long or too short. The story arcs themselves builds at a breakneck speed, usually packed with intense visuals, impeccable comedic timing, and high energy interaction that leave little time for viewers to settle. So this randomness in quotation is calculated, letting viewers or me experience such a constant adrenaline rush, similar to kinda how it feels when reading the manga panel to panel, and yet the anime I think heightened that even more. So by leaning into this style of pacing, Dandadan is able to sustain such a chaotic yet vibrant energy that many anime shy away from. So the third aspect is humanity beneath the absurdity. Even behind all of that randomness, which includes genre blending and rapid fire pacing, no story would work if you don't have characters that you can get behind with. So, what truly grounds Dandadan, the one aspect that glues this thing together and gives it a staying power, is the heart and relatability of the characters. In just the first episode alone, you'll learn basically all of the setup that you need to know at the beginning. The two main duos like Momo and Okarun are both quirky yet also have their own flaws, and both of them have chemistry that would go even further as the anime goes, which also show their respective struggles as a character in relationships like families and friends. For example, trouble fitting in like Okarun, or Momo being pissed that her childhood friend and crush makes fun of her granny. Granny? How they progress about finding out and believing about aliens and spirits. They are very easy to understand and get behind with. So I personally connect with the characters pretty quickly in the first episode. For example, the scene where Momo is feeling blue after breaking up and wishing to meet her Takakura Ken, then passing Okarun's classroom seeing him getting bullied. She then chimes in to stop the bullying and stand up for Okarun, only for Okarun to get back at her and help her when she's abducted by banana-obsessed aliens, with Turbo Granny's involvement of course. And just to add even more to that without spoiling too much, Turbo Granny's character even got a moment of meaningful characterization at the end of the first arc and shows why there is a reason why she hunts people's weenies. So essentially, whether if it's plot or comedic, there's always a clear setup and punchline. So because of that, I just love how this anime is able to intertwine character and chemistry developments amidst all of the insanity. It was really creative in my opinion and saved so much time while keeping things interesting.
This family's crazy! What is it?
Now, last but not least, the sprinkles on the cupcake, the golden paint on Okarun's balls, distinct visual and narrative aesthetic. So, Dandadan uses a lot of aesthetic choices which are creatively directed to heighten its unique tone. The surreal visuals, exaggerated expressions or movements, and dynamic camera angles are just so cleverly used and great to look at. Like the Turbo Granny chase in the first episode and also the fourth episode, especially where they necessarily don't have to use William Tell Overture remix with techno beats, but they did it anyway and it was just glorious. I mean, scenes like that just perfectly complement the bizarre tone and storyline. Another example would be how the anime director would play a lot with colors to make it more visually pleasing and add more nuances to the scene, like how Turbo Granny is in red, the Flatwoods monster is black, the alien is blue, Silky is pink, etc. And how these different colors would meet and reflect the meaning of a scene. I mean, you probably get the idea. I could be here all day just talking about the hidden meanings and subliminal messaging in the anime so far, and especially if you are like a visual art student in college, you're going to have fun dissecting this one. There's a lot to explore. So, if you're still watching this far, I just want to say thank you for listening to my random rumbling about Dandadan. If you guys have opinions or arguments to share, please do write a comment below since I might answer, and also please do subscribe and like the video. It would mean a lot. So, thank you guys for watching.